Our platform rules for this evening and all of our sessions are as follows. The moderator will guide the process of the session. The presenter will deliver information and will be interactive or reserve questions for after. In this case, in tonight's forum, you will just need to signal by the raising of your hand to speak, and you will be acknowledged. If you have a question, just raise the raise hand icon at the bottom of your toolbar, and you'll be more than willing to entertain that question. I know that some persons will be typing into the chat box, and definitely we will pay attention to those questions also. There will be no speaking over each other, but speaking in turn. And lastly, participants will focus their questions or testimonies on the subsection being discussed. Now, that's where we actually have subsections to be discussed, but this is general and wide open. So let your questions flow, okay? And just for everybody, my name is Alex Ferguson. I am the president of Holistic Health Pavilion here in Grand Bahama in the Bahamas. Been practicing, not practicing, I don't want to say practicing. I would like to say I've been helping people for the last 25 years in holistic health treatments, whether it's consultation or therapies. I do offer not only nutritional counseling, but also modalities such as reflexology, massage therapy, low-level laser therapy, electromagnetic therapy, and RIFE. Yeah, the RIFE therapy. So that said, I want to invite our president, Dr. Lincoln Carty, will come on, and he and I will open the floor for questions and comments. Dr. Carty, welcome.
Shalom, shalom, and very happy to be here and glad to see all those of you who are on the platform, and we trust that others will join us and benefit from our discussion as they come in. Praise you.
Praise you. Thanks very much, Dr. Carty. Dr. Carty, let me get the ball rolling. As I made my apologies in the opening about the cough at the tail end of the flu I had, there is a very nasty bug going around. I don't know how many people have been affected by it, but I know that there are tales right here in the Bahamas where people are actually losing their lives, and I don't want to throw out any type of scare factor, but I know from experience that this is not a regular type of flu. It comes with almost a combination of COVID-like symptoms, and it does move from an upper respiratory infection to a lower respiratory infection really quick. So I don't know if things like that are happening in St. Kitts where you are, but if anybody else are having outbreaks wherever you are in the world, we'd like you to say something about it.
Yes, we are noticing some outbreaks here in St. Kitts as well. In fact, even close individuals, family members would have come down with it. And I noticed there's a little tickling in my throat right now. I don't know if it is that or, but I'm not feeling in any way as if I'm coming down with anything. Probably just a dry throat. But it does us well to keep our immune system up. Because if your immune system is in optimum shape, then even if you catch a cold or catch a flu, it will not have the debilitating effects on you as it would have on someone who has a weak immune system. So and then there's also vitamin D. Well, here in the Caribbean, we can produce a lot of vitamin D because we have the sunshine right out there on a daily basis. Too bad for those of you who are going through winter time, because then you're not getting as much sunshine as you would want. But we do have a lot of sunshine out here, so we get our vitamin D. And then there are some other supplements such as selenium and zinc, mushroom, well, mainly the shiitake mushroom. Those are good things to boost the immune system. And then in terms of helping to heal problems like sore throats and coughs and so on, echinacea is extremely good. Slippery elm is also good for soothing the throat and helping to get rid of coughs and colds. And if you don't have access to those, then lozenges, steam inhalation, even some over-the-counter products. Well, I just said lozenges, so that would be good. But also gargling with salt water, that's a remedy I learned as a little boy. Whenever we came down with those things, our grandmother would just give us some salt water to gargle with, and it would clear the throat up. Okay, and one thing I would also suggest for if you are experiencing cold or flu symptoms, to drink to hydrate you. So those are some of the things I would suggest from a natural point of view to help in that area.
Yeah, it's very good, and I agree with everything that you said. One of the things that I would like to remind our platform participants is this, that 70 to 75% of your body's immune system is actually located in your gut.
Yes.
So a healthy gut is a first line of defense. And in order to obtain a healthy gut, it is very good to start with detoxing your body, and then adding those foods, start switching your nutrition, modification to your nutrition, so that the foods that you're eating are helping to build that gut health, to build that immune system. And Dr. Carty gave a list of things that can be used to help build the immune system, all that working in combination, the healthy gut, and then the supplements to build it up. And then two, you mentioned some of the things that could be taken and things that are right around you, which is very, very important. And it does depend on the strength of the immune system, the severity and the length of this flu and any other type of sickness, because mine is very short-lived, but it went down and up very, very quickly. And I watched those who've had the same thing over an extended period of time. My symptoms were very short, where those were extracted, and that's where it becomes very, very dangerous when it's extracted. Your body has to be able to fight quickly and bounce back. One of the things too, Dr. Carty, is that during this time, when people are sick with things like flu or cold, they normally, a lot of people, they're still very active. And that kind of slows down the restoration process, because the same energy that you're burning physically, you need internally to help fight. And that's why bed rest is recommended. And of course, you touched on the very, very important thing: hydration, hydration, hydration. So I don't know if sorry.
Yeah, but even as we talk about hydration, plain water is good for hydrating the body, but electrolytes also help to keep the immune system working. And when I say electrolytes, I'm referring to drinks that would have various minerals: magnesium, potassium, calcium, the whole range of minerals. And one liquid that we should always keep close to us is coconut water. And again, in the Caribbean, we have lots of coconuts all across the Caribbean. And so drinking coconut water on a regular basis helps. Now, for those who do not have easy access to coconut water, you can make your own with tap water. Did you know that? Yes, you can make your own coconut water. In fact, I used to buy coconut water. I very rarely buy coconut water now, and that's because I have a very good friend very close to me, that sometimes I just pick it up and pour it in my water. I'll just take it and show you here. It's called Trace Minerals, right? It's a concentrated electrolyte, and it has most of the salts: magnesium chloride, sodium, potassium sulfate, boron, along with some others. And this is concentrated. It comes straight from the Utah Sea. There are different sizes. This one is a medium size. There's a smaller size. There's a larger size. And it's, as it says here, it helps to boost stamina, energy, and endurance. Okay. And what I do is put this like 15 drops, because it's so concentrated, you have to use drops. It's very very, very concentrated, straight from the sea. And 15 drops in a glass of water at least 3 times per day, this gives you the electrolytes you need for the day. So you don't have access to coconut water, you can have your electrolytes that way. But stay away from those energy drinks that are purported to have electrolytes in them because they do more damage than harm. Okay, so you drink your coconut water, your plain water, or you add natural electrolytes to your water. Lime is also good. Limes and lemons. You squeeze some lime in water, you drink that, you get your electrolytes as well.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And at any time during our conversation, somebody wants to give a comment or ask a question, please feel free to indicate with the raising of the hand. Now, one of the things I'll tell you also while having that flu that really helped was herbal combinations for treatment during the flu. And what I used was the blue vervain with oregano, and it was the third that I added to it. I know I had a bit of moringa, but those two actually did it for me. And what I did was I blended it so that I got concentrated juice without heat, a kind of cold preparation, strained it, and drank that 3 times a day, along with olive leaf extract capsules, and that helped with the immune to shorten. Well, of course, I say helped with the immune to shorten, but everything works by the favor of the Most High. So I thank Yahweh for that. And it's a very dangerous flu for children and older people. I mean, much when I say older people, persons with weakened bodies, weakened immune systems, and so on and so forth. So I want to encourage everybody to be careful because we're having some very strange weather patterns also. I know that most of us have been experiencing cold fronts back to back to back to back. And in between, in the Caribbean, we getting the cold and we getting the heat in between. So you have some major fluctuations that can actually aid in breaking the body down. Okay. Now, I guess everybody's quiet about the flu going around. I know also, Dr. Carty, this is a question. What do you believe would be the major health issue that is common to every person on this platform?
Oh boy, there are so many of them.
Yeah.
Because and different schools of thought would vary. For example, you would hear that cardiovascular problems, heart disease, and its attendant problem would be the #1 issue. Some people might be arguing now that cancer is becoming the #1 issue, or other non-communicable diseases. In fact, those are the major issues, the non-communicable diseases. So we have cardiovascular problems, cancer, arthritis, diabetes, you name it. And anyone on the platform might be experiencing any one of those. So if anybody wants us to speak to any one of them, we'll be very happy to do so. For example, you might be diabetic and you want some information on that, just raise your hand, put a question in the chat, or and we'll just speak to it.
All right. While you were speaking, though, Minister Collins, CJ Collins, had a question, and the question was whether or not high fruit intake can substitute for water in place of hydration. A good high fruit intake is excellent, but it cannot replace water. It has to be accompanied because each body requires its own unique amount based on the weight of the individual that they need to get in. And you might not get all of that in fruits. You would definitely need to drink water also to make sure. Dr. Carty?
Yes, and some fruits have much more water than others. So it's not just about eating fruits, but knowing which fruits to get your high water content from. The melons, for example, the melon family, they are very high in water. Cucumbers are also extremely high in water. What we'll call the term I'm looking for. How would you describe the inside of cactus or aloe vera?
In reading, it's always just referred to as fleshy.
Yes, fleshy, but there's another term. That one is lost on me right now. But those fruits, those types of fruits and leaves would have a good water supply. So it's just a matter of choosing
Okay.
the ones with. But yes, drinking pure water is always number one.
Yes.
At least 6 to 8 glasses of water per day. If you can drink more, fine.
Yeah. Come to think about the combination of the fresh fruits and water, it's a very good combination because you're getting a lot of the alkalizing minerals from the fruits that you're eating, and then adding the fluid actually gives you back that hydration that your body needs. So that's a very good combination. Okay. Anybody else with a question? Definitely. Let's talk about it. Well, we have a quiet platform tonight, that is. Well, to some people, it might be day two.
Folks, remember, this is open forum. Tonight is your chance to raise questions. You don't even have to have the issue, but you might know a friend who has an issue that you want to get information for. You could ask the question and we share the information with you. You share it with your friend. Your friend may not be on the platform, but you might be able to reach out and share that information with your friend. This is your opportunity to raise questions about any health issue you're interested in. So please go right ahead. Don't just leave it for Cohen and I to ask and answer the questions ourselves, right? This is your chance. So go right ahead and raise your questions.
Okay, very good, Minister. Does processed coconut water have the same health benefits? Should I take it or you?
Okay, you go ahead. I have not. I don't have my chat open. Let me open my chat.
Okay.
I didn't see the question.
Okay, that's a wonderful question, Minister Collins. I'll tell you this. Living in the Caribbean, where coconuts are easily accessible, you have coconut trees in your yard. You bark a coconut and you drain the water out. You know how coconut water tastes. But many of the processed packaged commercial coconut waters that you'll be paying money for is water, coconut pulp, and sugar. There's a vast difference, vast difference, and anyone living in the Caribbean can tell by the taste. So that's a lot of money down the drain.
Excuse me, Cohen, could you please repeat the question? I have the chat open, but I'm not seeing it. I guess it was a question direct to you.
Let me see if I can open it so I can get exactly verbatim what the question said. Okay. Trying to open my chat. Okay. Does processed coconut water have the same health benefits as the real coconut water? Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. So you heard our answer. That you want to add to that?
Yes. Sure. No. That was adequate. It's just that I didn't quite get the question.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
I thought you were referring to other drinks.
No.
Other processed drinks.
Specific to coconut water. I know that many persons on the platform probably come from a Caribbean background and is familiar with what I'm talking about. And you definitely can't taste the difference easily. Usually we call it a forgery, and commercialized coconut water is definitely a forgery. Okay. Thanks for that question once again, Mr. Collins.
I must add, however, that there are some companies that produce plain coconut water. I think one of them goes by the brand name, is it Fat Boy? Either Fat Boy or Big Boy or something like that. because I bought that in the past and it tastes, you know, exactly like the coconut water. And they do indicate that it's just fresh bottled coconut water.
Oh, that's good.
It might have some preservative in it for, you know, to keep the shelf life. But
Mhm.
other than that, no additives. Yeah. So some companies do. But
Okay.
please don't even think of buying coconut water in a can. I have
Mhm.
seen coconut water being promoted in supermarkets in cans. I mean, in fact, I do not encourage anybody to use anything at all from a can for the simple reason that canned products are in themselves carcinogenic because of the organotin that is produced inside of the can and they are released in the foods, whether it is a drink or some other food, you are exposing yourself to carcinogens. So stay away from canned products.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, thanks for that. Um, what would you say, Elder Carty? Oh, I got something here. And this was in a discussion with two other senior men and myself, and I'm pretty sure they will have a good chuckle once they hear it. But were you aware that there is menopause? Have you heard about male menopause?
Um, well, not the term menopause, but men do go through changes, hormonal changes. In fact, I have to admit that many times when I was in my like 50s, 60s, I actually used to experience hot flashes, serious hot flashes. They would just come out of nowhere. And I would check the temperature of the environment, and the temperature is cool. There's nothing at all that is stressing me at the time. Because I did check it out, and personally, I was experiencing hot flashes. Yes, I would just break out in a sweat and the heat would be there. It would last a few minutes and then we are off.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Actually, when it was first mentioned, I didn't discard it, but I did go and do a little bit of research on it, and it is a thing. So
Yeah.
men need to know that they do experience things that. And I'm sorry for switching the topic like that, but that one came to mind, and I had to throw it out there because I know there's men on the platform, whether they're young or old. It is a phase that you will eventually go through.
Right. And maybe I should add just for clarification that it's not anything too serious, but as we age, the testosterone levels decline. And
Mhm.
those hot flashes are indeed as a result of the decline of the testosterone. So just to add that, you know, because I mentioned the hot flashes, but I didn't mention it.
Yeah, another thing, Dr. Gotti, when mentioning the reduction in testosterone, we should also mention the increase in estrogen in men at the same
Oh, yeah.
time, because when the same thing happens in women, where the estrogen declines and the testosterone in women arise, causing that hormonal imbalance that gives off these symptoms that are in some cases very, very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Well, any male or female on the platform wants to talk about that question, which is good. Men and women's health. Well. Okay. What about heart health, Dr. Carney? What can we say about heart health? Because heart health is something that is extremely important. There are persons, okay, I got a question come up, so I'll just put mine on the side. Does warm water remove mucus better than warm tea? I ask because I prefer the taste of water over tea, and I know that hot tea is very popular to drink to deal with cold issues.
You want me to take that one?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay. The question is, what type of tea? Because it is not so much in using regular herbal teas, like say basil tea, mint tea, and one of those. It would impact the mucus level just like hot water. But there are certain herbal preparations. For example, I mentioned slippery elm a while ago. Now, if you have a cold or a cough and you were to break open a capsule of slippery elm, make some tea with it, you would find that that would be even more effective than just plain water because of the effect of the slippery elm on the mucous membranes. Helps to release that phlegm, get rid of your cough. Okay, so it just depends on the type of herb that you're using in your tea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you said is so important because you're mentioning the slippery elm. One of the things you should mention that gives the hot tea an advantage, like you did say, was the type of herb that you're utilizing. And for mucus expulsion, the slippery elm, you have the mullein, mullein plant that you can make a tea up. You even have the native thyme. All of these are mucus expectorants that can be made into tea that definitely will have a higher benefit than just plain water.
Right, right.
Thanks for the question again. Anybody else with a burning question that they would like to ask the platform? Please feel free to do so.
There's a hand
Yes,
up.
yes, that's right, Hepzibah.
Okay, shalom. Good night.
Good night.
The question
Shalom.
shalom. The question I would have is, I guess, what would be, at this time you're trying to, yes, build your immune, but what would be the most, I guess, let's say the top 3 things that we should kind of stay away from that's going to break down our immune system? That's, because sometimes you might like be eating right, but you're still taking in some bad stuff. So it's like you countering the good that you're doing. So is it like sugar, salt, should we watch how much sweets? Like what would you say we should stay away from to maintain a optimum health, or to not kind of further break our bodies down?
Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just acknowledging the question. But if you,
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, so you're looking at stuff that can negatively impact the immune system.
Yes.
Okay. One off the cuff is poor diet. Because remember, your food is your medicine. And so if you're not eating the kinds of food that will give you an adequate supply of especially your vitamins and minerals, you need those to help to boost your immune system. I mentioned vitamins A, C, E, along with vitamin D. Well, you get D from exposure to sunlight. But if you're not exposing yourself to sunlight, then you'll want to get vitamin D supplements. Poor sleep quality also negatively impacts the immune system. There are some individuals like me, we tend to forget to sleep and we work for long periods of time. We have to get out of that bad habit and shut down our devices, our phones and so on, get rid of the electromagnetism and get good quality sleep. And I would advise keep electronic gadgets away from your bedroom. Another thing that impacts your immune system is stress. So if individuals find themselves in high stress situations, worrying a lot, or have a job that is very stressful, then you can also find that your immune system becomes weak. So poor diet, lack of sleep, chronic stress, all of those could help to weaken the immune system.
That's right. Like your answers, and with all of those things that can weaken the immune system, the opposite actually strengthens the immune system. Where there is stress, you have mindfulness. Where there is eating for death, there's eating to live, and that is capitalizing on live food, fresh fruits and vegetables, plant-based diets, reducing the amount of animal products that you take in. And as you mentioned, Dr. Carty, rest, the essential amount of rest, and also exercise, especially in a sedentary society where everybody's just sitting, watching, always pasted to a phone. And that's another thing you mentioned about the technology, actually putting that down, putting it away for periods of time, actually helps, believe it or not, can help bring good health restoration because it affects you, the radiation from these gadgets, and also what it does to you mentally. It actually breaks you down. So taking breaks from it is very essential.
I'll answer you. Oh, yes. Okay, you're back.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And yeah, and hydration. I don't know why, but during the night I heard there's a lot of break in communication. So I apologize if I am sounding choppy. But yeah, like I was saying, everything that you said, the opposite is mindfulness, nutrition, rest, exercise, and then of course we're going to say it again, hydration, because a lot of us walk around in a dehydrated state. So hydration is something that we just need to keep promoting out there.
Yes, and just to confirm something that Sharif Hepzibah mentioned, I think she mentioned sugar. But in addition to sugar, just highly processed foods. So highly processed foods with all of the various colorings and dyes and so on in them, and different additives in addition to sugar. Unhealthy fats, well, you did mention animal products, and that's where you'd find lots of unhealthy fats. And even in some processed foods, you would find lots of unhealthy fats in there. So you want to keep the junk out of your diet. Just go straight to the point. Keep the junk out of your diet and try and eat a well-balanced, healthy diet. That will also help to boost your immune system. And believe it or not, there is healthy healing music. Coin area, Mr. Ferguson introduced me to the 432 hertz music on the YouTube channel about it was almost 2 years ago when I was experiencing some serious stress. And I have to admit that that music, along with grounding, helped to just, bring relief from all of that stress. And even up to now, I still take a break, play some calming music, sit in my recliner and get a good massage in the muscles. And so there are any number of things you can do to boost your system, but yes, also stay away from those things that will cause harm. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, really appreciated that. And you realize that we're talking about, I want to talk about modalities here. When we talk about modalities, we're talking about the various what you call it, therapies that can be used. And what you spoke of when you spoke of grounding and 432 hertz, both are dealing with something that is abstract, and that is frequency.
Yes.
And the frequency, it's been researched and documented and actually clinically applied in technique, where frequency is involved in almost everything. There's a frequency in sound. There's a frequency in light. There is a frequency that in electricity, everything has a frequency and has a resonation, that resonation being the amount of cycles that it would actually repeat. And we are affected by it. And it surrounds us. It could either help us or harm us. And I would like to say here too that there are many persons, especially in military, that are aware of this and utilize it for that purposes, for causing discomfort, for causing sicknesses. Whereas at the same time, what we're doing is using frequencies for healing. And I saw that to mention something that somebody had mentioned sometime in the Restore Renew Revive chat concerning electromagnetic frequency. And there was a gentleman back in the early 1900s. His name was Royal Raymond Rife, that developed an electromagnetic frequency machine that actually proved to help in determination of fourth stage cancers and help with other various diseases. And this is using frequency. And right now, low-level laser therapy is a modality that uses light frequency for the same purpose. When you mentioned about the 432 and the grounding, all of this came into mind, so I thought I would mention it to the platform, that there are other means that can assist in natural healing versus the modern methods. So if anybody has a question on any one of those modalities, please feel free to ask also. Questions, anybody? Our platform is quiet tonight.
What about frequent migraine headaches or headaches, persistent headaches? What's good for that?
Okay, she's referring to headaches, Dr. Carty, in particular, migraine headaches, the causes of migraine headaches. You want to talk to that? Because I know that you at one time dealt effectively.
Yeah, there are various causes of headaches. Injuries, for example, stress, disease, allergies, so that one would have to determine what is causing the headache in order to deal with it. Migraines especially are caused by certain types of injuries. For example, injuries to the neck, the spine. I experienced an accident just over 30 years ago. Yeah, October last year made 30 years. And for a number of years after that, I had severe migraines. And I'm sure most, if not all of you on the platform would be aware of what you would feel, what you would experience when you have a migraine headache. It's like somebody's pounding your head with a hammer. That's what it feels like. And imagine having one of those migraines for 4 long weeks. You go to bed at night with it, you wake up in the morning with it. That was my longest one, 4 weeks, 28 days. The others used to be about 2 weeks, 1.5 weeks. They would vary until I was able to get the kind of chiropractic care I needed to help to fix a problem in my neck, because I had what was called a double whiplash. I had both the flexor and extensor whiplash, so much so that the spinal cord in my neck was compressed. In fact, it might still be there because I have not had any procedure done on my neck. I did travel to Trinidad, and the neurosurgeon there, this was back in 2002, 8 years after the accident. And he offered at that time to cut away the bones from the back of my spinal cord. Of my spinal column, those 3 vertebrae, 5, 6, and 7, to release the pressure off the spinal cord, and then fuse the bones together, put a steel around my neck, and I would have been like a zombie until now. I chose to just sleep on it. I told him I'll sleep on it. I'm still sleeping on it. And I'm no worse off for it. He did warn me that if I had another whiplash, I could be paralyzed from my neck down. And believe it or not, I did have another bad accident about 2 weeks after I returned from Trinidad. In that one, I actually lost sight in my right eye because the lens in that eye was shattered. But fortunately, I'm not yet paralyzed, and so, but the migraine headaches, I was able to get over those, as a result of massage therapy and chiropractic care. And so you have that. But then when it comes to migraines caused by food allergies, then one would have to go on what is called an elimination diet, because you have to now identify those foods that are causing the allergies and get them out of your diet. For example, some people are allergic to milk, some are allergic to cheese, some would be allergic to peanuts. In fact, allergies to peanuts could be very deadly. I remember a case where a gentleman died, and what caused his death? He was allergic to peanuts, and he kissed his girlfriend who was eating peanuts just before that kiss happened. And just that was enough to kill him, unfortunately. So, and it is strange that we never knew about allergies to peanuts when we were little children, And these days, there are so many people I'm hearing of who have allergies to nuts, not just peanuts, but various kinds of nuts. And I believe it is because of all of those additives that are being put in the fertilizers, in the plants themselves, the bioengineering that is taking place to modify our food products. And that is individuals eat as close to the ground and as close to natural as possible. I don't know if that would have helped to answer your question. If you need more information, just say so, and we'll add some more.
So that's what.
Make your mind on that. There is a question on the board.
If
you could just
right.
would you say that men and women underestimate the role of gut health in regards to their reproductive health?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, go right ahead, Cohen.
As a matter of fact, the gut health affects the entire body. The healthy gut maintains a healthy body, and any weakened area, a compromised area, would actually be firstly and primarily affected by a weakened immune system. It is underestimated in overall health, not just reproductive health, but overall health. The gut is underestimated. Reproductive health, mental health, all is gut related. So I don't want to just isolate and say reproductive, but when we ignore the health of our gut, we ignore our overall general health. So Dr. Scott, I don't know if you want to add to that, but I didn't want to just zero in on reproductive because it affects the gut health affects so much.
Yeah, but I guess the person had a reason for mentioning reproductive health, and we do know that women especially could have irregular menstrual cycles, ovulation problems, based on the quality of the gut health. Because let's remember that if you have a poor, let us say the biome, the gut bacteria, those that would help you to produce certain types of hormones, for example, if they're not there, then you could impact your hormone regulation, you see, and that in turn would cause problems. And even men could have reduced sperm quality based on some of the foods. In fact, years ago, I think it was when I was doing one of my presentations on cancer, I would have learned that certain things that they put in plastics, for example, would inhibit sperm production in men. you see. And that's because you would consume foods which have these chemicals in them. Things like what you'd call the PCBs, and those chemicals that are put in plastics, they seep into your water, into other foods, the juices and so on that are put in plastic containers, and they could impact men's health. And also, women could experience risky pregnancies. In fact, one major culprit, and a lot of people don't realize this, one major culprit is chocolate, cocoa products, because cocoa has 5 different methylxanthines in it: theophylline, theobromine, tannin, oxalic acid, and caffeine. And some of these actually impact the your DNA. So they actually go into the nucleus of the cells, impact the DNA. And women who are pregnant, who consume a lot of cocoa and chocolate products, they run the risk of having children being born with certain deformities because of problems related to the DNA as a result of that. So even some of the things we eat could impact our reproductive health, yes.
Yeah, I hope that answers your question, Mr. CJ. But it is the gut is extremely important for holistic functioning. And I know that we're up on the 1 hour mark, but when you were mentioning about answering the migraine question, there are a lot of the migraines that like you mentioned has to do with foods, and and it is certain foods that cause it. Foods separate and apart from trauma-induced migraine, like you first explained in your experience. So doing that food elimination trial is very important if you are plagued with migraines, because it could be something that you're consuming over and over and over again that is causing that lengthened discomfort. And I praise the Most High that I don't suffer from migraines, but I know that my wife suffers from migraine, and it is a very painful experience, according to many who have migraines. So you definitely want to do that food elimination test.
Yeah, it is. And I would not wish that on anybody. And by the way, one thing I would want to mention, because it is very common, that's MSG.
Ooh.
MSG is found in almost every season you can use. And MSG does cause migraine headaches. That's one
Forgot
of
that.
the problems.
Yes.
Yes. So you'd want to, be very careful with that. Okay? MSG.
Well,
You go
that
ahead. Mhm.
I knew I saw a neurologist,
Mhm.
and they did the scan. I had a car accident and my head hit the windshield. This was years ago, 25 years ago. And what happened is I was pregnant with my daughter. That's how I can remember that time. But the reality is I couldn't take the medications that they wanted to prescribe to me at the time. Now, one of the things he did tell me was to watch what I eat. He told me to eliminate chocolate, dairy products, Coca-Cola, Pepsi,
Yes.
and well, those things in particular, those 3 right there. It was another one too, but those were the things that I had to kind of like minimize and eliminate. So I kind of do watch how much dairy I take in, and I really cut out like the Coke, because I used to drink Coke sodas a lot. But since I became more mindful of what I ate, I did notice it was not as bad, but sometimes it feels like if I have a regular headache, and if I let's just say the glare from the sun, and if I'm not careful with that, I feel like the headache just builds and builds until it's out of control. So it's like it can be from a glare from a headache, or if I wait too long to eat. It seems like a small headache, if it's not put in check, can just explode. And so I try to get ahead of it. Coffee was the next one. He told me stay away from coffee. So those are the things. But he did say if I did get a headache, I can have a little bit of coffee. I can have like just a little bit to try to counteract the headache before it gets out of control. So I've really tried to manage it and be mindful and do a lot of soak my feet in hot water. I use a cold compress for my head, sensitivity to light, noise, and stuff like that. So, over the years, from the amount of painkillers I used to take, I'm, much more mindful of the impact of taking medication outside. So I try to do the natural route first. So I just wanted to know, like listening and to take in more. I even notice if I'm not drinking sufficient water, like I start to feel off and my head starts to feel a little like I can feel like I can feel like I'm like, okay, I need to drink more water. So I guess I'm listening to my body more and being mindful of to put those good things in to avoid the headache or to do this to avoid, even to get that I can just continue to find alternative ways to to deal with, some of those things. I notice now that I'm having, I guess, with the hot flashes, like I feel like I have more headaches with that too. So I don't know if you can speak if that's another part of it, because it seems like it's like since it's just flared up a little bit more. That's how it feels. I don't
Well,
know.
yes, because as women go through menopause, you would have those hormonal changes, which, could raise your stress level and cause headaches, and, as the case might be. But you did mention a set of things that the doctor told you to stay away from, and I just want to come back and highlight those. Because I don't want individuals to simply think that that was just advice for you alone. But there is that group of substances which contain methylxanthines. I did mention cocoa, and you did say that he also told you to stay away from coffee and Coca-Cola and colas and so on. And all of those are products that contain methylxanthines. You see, and methylxanthines, by the way, methylxanthines are indeed carcinogenic. So they do not only impact your reproductive health, because I mentioned it in relation to the DNA, but they also impact your health as far as cancer is concerned. In men, they cause prostatic hypertrophy. That is swelling of the prostate gland, which would eventually lead to prostate cancer if not taken care of early. In women, they cause cysts and fibroids. And especially if those cysts occur in the breast, that could lead to breast cancer. And then fibroids. In fact, I remember when we were doing the cancer presentation, those of you who were on, you remember I told the story of a medical doctor who had very severe fibroids, and her friend suggested surgery, but she ended up contacting a naturopath who simply took her off of all of the things that she was using that contained methylxanthines, like the cocoa, the coffee, the Coca-Cola. She used to drink Coca-Cola on a daily basis. He took her off of all of those, and her fibroids just went away. You see, so that's why we just need to eat natural. And again, you mentioned water. when, especially as elder folks, we get older, we do not experience thirst like young people. We forget to drink water. Our water levels go down, we become dehydrated, and that's another source of headaches. Simply because the pressure in the brain is going to increase as a result of the dehydration, and that could cause headaches. So as we said, there are a number of causes of headaches. It's a matter of knowing what is causing the headache and dealing with it. So thank you very much for sharing your experience.
Yes, and very wonderful question.
Yeah.
Well, platform, do we have any other questions or comments? And once again, I would like to welcome to the platform those health practitioners who are joining us, and want to invite you to please feel free to join in at any time. What we're doing is trying to help one another with useful information. Right now, many people are moving away from conventional medicine and approaching embracing natural means of not only treating diseases, but changing lifestyle modification, so that the way you're living enhances natural health. So we want to encourage that. We want to encourage you to be vocal on the platform, okay? And this platform is for you who are here. And we are so grateful that you are here. So please utilize it, take advantage of it, ask your questions, and invite others to the platform also. We were hoping that we would have a whole dray load of questions this evening. But we are very, very thankful for the questions that we have received. And we do pray that the answers given, the questions asked and the answers given, has benefited somebody on the platform who might not have asked a question. So we want to thank you for that. And our time has come up now, and I want to ask our president if he has anything to say in closing before we close off the platform.
Just to mention that we would really appreciate it if individuals can communicate with us and share any health concerns you have. If you want us to do a presentation, a seminar on that particular topic, give it to us, because we might come on and present on topics that we feel we are interested in, but it may not reach you because you might have another issue and you would want us to deal with that particular issue, but we would not know unless you tell us. So we would appreciate it if you can share with us. You have the links to, our phone numbers. Coin area, Mr. Ferguson, could you just share your phone number?
Okay, so
I will share mine if you would want to. Just let me just type my phone number. Just speak with us, share your information with us, and we will prepare presentations to fit your needs.
yes, definitely.
Okay, so that's my mobile number. I'm on WhatsApp. It's 696658968. So you can just make a note of it and share any information you want. Say, okay, Dr. Carty, could you, present on this or that topic? And we'll be very grateful to give you what you want. In fact, we mentioned the immune system a while ago. I don't think we have actually done a presentation on the immune system itself. And I'm sure there are some individuals who may not even quite understand what the immune system is, how it functions, right? So if there's one person listening, 2, 3, 4, who would want us to do a presentation on the immune system, just put up a hand, raise a hand, do a thumbs up or something like that. And if we get it from just one person, we'll present on the immune system. Fine, I see one hand. Okay, and the other? Well, I said if we just get one.
That's right.
So we do have one. Yeah, so I think we can do a presentation on the immune system so that you can better understand why your immune system is important and why we need to keep our immune system healthy. All right? So, yes. So I promise you, we'll do that.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think we've dealt with a almost all of the systems. We've had someone present on almost all of the systems except the immune system. We've touched on it. We've touched on it, but not concentrated. So that definitely will be good. Okay,
Yeah.
so
In fact, some time ago, I did produce an ebook on the immune system. I was given away with a program I was doing back probably 2014, 2015, somewhere thereabouts. So, you know, I can review, update that information, and we can do that presentation, yes, on the immune system.
yes, and please complete the ebook. Get the ebook out.
Well, it was out, you know, it was out. So I guess I can revise it and you know, put it out again.
That'll be good.
Yes.
That'll be good.
And that book will not be sold. It would be a free ebook.
Nice. Well, you heard it here first on the Health Corner that you do have a free ebook. At some point, I'm pretty sure it'll be announced once it is edited and released again. So once again, I would like to thank everybody for coming out tonight on this platform, taking the time to sit. And again, please bring your questions and whatever you're interested in, whatever you want to hear. We will do our very utmost to ensure that you get the information that you're looking for, and not just give you information, but correct information that helps. And until 2 weeks from now, to look forward by the grace of Elohim to make sure to see you again, and with a friend. Please invite a friend out. Invite somebody who is sick, who wants to ask a question about what they're going through. And that's what the platform is for. It's a ministry to help restore each one of us to good health, because we're on this journey, and it's a health restoration journey, and we should encourage each other as we walk. Okay.
Yes.
So again, on behalf of RSRMI, Rapha Shalom Restoration Ministries International, and the Hebrew Heritage Center, thank you for being present tonight. And as we open with prayer, acknowledging the Most High, who is our Creator and our King, Adon Yahusha, who is our Savior, we opened acknowledging, we will close giving thanks and acknowledgement. So I want to invite Minister Clifton Collins to please just give us a word of prayer in closing.
Absolutely. Father Yah, we come before you this evening, just thanking you for another day on this planet, Father. We thank you for continuing to give Cohen Ferguson and Dr. Carty the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to help us grow in the truths of health so that we can be healthier in our bodies, healthier in our minds, healthier in our souls, Father. And that through this knowledge that we can grow too, Father. And like I said at the beginning, that we can begin to give this information to our loved ones and our friends and our neighbors and to those that are truly in need, Father. We know that your word says that you desire for all of us to live healthy lives, Father. But due to the deception and the tactics of the enemy, Father, so many of us suffer from sicknesses that are created by man, Father. But we know that no death exists inside you. So may you continue to bless Rapha Shalom Restoration Ministries and continue to increase Dr. Carty and Nurse Allen and Cohen Ferguson so they can continue to increase your people and continue to bring more people out of the darkness and into the light. And we thank you for all that you have done in the mighty name of Yeshua the Messiah. Amen.
Good night, everyone, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time, Yah willing. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes.
Oh, yes,
Good
yeah,
night,
that's right.
everyone.
And I was talking and my mic was off, so I'm glad you said that. The 25th of February is the next platform. God bless each and every one of you. Have a wonderful rest of the week. Good night's rest and a good rest of the week. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Shalom.